Hello, my name is Amanda, and I'm here to share my research proposal with y'all. The title of my presentation is Structured Mentorship and Leadership Advancement in Municipal Law Enforcement. This research stems from a real and persistent issue, which is that women are still being significantly underrepresented in leadership roles within law enforcement, even as their numbers in the profession slowly but surely continue to grow. Over the next few minutes, I will walk you through what led me to this topic, the research question that I developed, the methods that I plan to use, and most importantly, why this study matters, not just academically, but for real-world public safety agencies and the communities that they serve. So, why this topic? Well, I am really interested in public service and how we can improve the systems that keep our communities safe, especially when it comes to advancement and fairness in the workplace, obviously being a female. As I started exploring leadership in law enforcement, I saw the big disconnect between women entering the field but not moving up at the same rate that they're entering this field. Mentorship gets talked about a lot as a solution to these things, but no one seems to be measuring whether it's actually working, especially for women who are trying to move into leadership roles. So for me, this study is about more than equity. It's about building a stronger, more effective public safety workforce, helping agencies make real lasting improvements that involve us women. So my research question and methodology. My research question is, how does participation in structured mentorship programs influence promotion rates and leadership readiness among female municipal police officers in the Mountain West region of the United States? So while I focused on sworn female officers in municipal agencies across the Mountain West region, this was mostly because I needed to comprise a realistic population for this proposal. This area has a mix of urban and rural departments, which in turn will help reflect broader national trends. I used a mixed methods approach, so a combination of surveys that will gather broad patterns and then interviews that will get deeper insights into people's actual experiences. The participants will be selected based on mentorship experience, and then the qualitative part was analyzed using thematic coding to really understand how these programs are working or not working on the ground. For me, it was important that the research was grounded in lived experience, not just numbers. I want to see what mentorship looks like in practice and whether it's actually helping women move forward into leadership roles or not. So, learning from the process, like with most research, I definitely hit a few speed bumps along the way. One of my first challenges was narrowing my focus. I initially considered a national sample, but realized that limiting it to the Mountain West region, and I picked that just because obviously I'm from Arizona, so that's the region that I'm in, but limiting it to that region made my study more realistic and manageable. Another hurdle was finding solid, relevant research that specifically ties mentorship to leadership outcomes within public safety, especially policing. There's a lot out there on mentorship just in general, but not as much that is really specific or data-driven in this space, which obviously makes this a great research proposal for the course. I also found myself constantly trying to find a balance between keeping my academic side rigorous while still trying to make sure the study would have real world relevance for agencies and officers. And what helped the most was staying open to refining things, reworking my ideas, obviously changing my target population, my sample size, all of that changed from the beginning. Even narrowing it down to female police officers instead of just public safety workers. I also originally started it with also taking minorities into consideration, so I kind of narrowed that too. So anyways, I dug into more targeted reading and then I applied the feedback that I got from my instructor. also connecting my research to change. For me, the research wasn't just about filling a gap in the literature. It's about contributing to real change. I care deeply about public service. I believe that when leadership better reflects the people it serves, the entire system improves. The study supports that idea by offering insight into how public safety agencies can build more inclusive and supportive pathways for advancement, especially for women in law enforcement. And it's also about retention, building trust, and really giving public safety agencies tools that can inform real policy and practice and not just theory. Last but not least, some key takeaways and next steps to this. One of the biggest things that I realized is just how under-researched structured mentorship really is in law enforcement, especially when it comes to actual outcomes like promotion and leadership readiness. A lot of programs are well-intentioned, but we don't always know what's working and what's not working. And then I briefly mentioned this a slide back. I also noticed how often race and gender are treated separately in the research, which again is why I narrowed it to just females, when in reality they intersect in ways that really affect people's experiences. So I'd love to see future studies that take a wider scope, maybe nationally, not one that I could manage for this course, unfortunately, and with more focus on different underrepresented groups and long-term effects. There's definitely a lot of room to keep building on this work for sure. And then I did just want to make a note for reference purposes that all photos I used within this presentation were pulled from the built-in clip art options included in the PowerPoint app, and I left their credentials in the little, I know on this screen it's right below my little image, but those little black boxes I left all there, which is the standard credentials that come with it in the built-in clip art. So anyways, that's it for my final, and I hope you enjoy everything. Thank you so much.